What's up, guys? This is Ofo, and you might notice pretty significant downgrade in quality from my past videos, and that's because I'm not using my good camera. I'm using my actually new laptop camera from my MacBook Pro, and it's supposed to be HD, but I don't think it actually is, and it's really hard to set up, so you're gonna have to settle with this. But I just wanted to make this video to say that I'm still here, and my old laptop broke, so that's why I haven't been posting, but I am posting now, and this isn't that great of a game either, because I really didn't have a lot of time to play because I've been really busy, but I really wanted to get this out to you guys, and so I guess without further ado, let's get in. So I decided to lead off with my Machamp. He leads off with his Registeel. And that Registeel is annoying as hell. I thought he might want to save it, so I'd go for a substitute, and also I thought he might go for Thunder Wave or something, and I knew he would survive one. So I set up sub, but he goes to Stealth Rocks, which works too. And although I don't have a spinner, and I do have some people that are weak to that, you know, whatever. So I do go for Dynamic Punch, and I thought that maybe, well, I knew that wasn't going to take him out, because, I mean, Registeel is pretty bulky. So he's able to survive that, and he just goes for Seismic Toss, and that is going to break my sub, because I don't have 400 HP. So, yep, after all this leftovers, I think he decides to switch out, and he does, and he goes on to Shaman, and I believe, no, I just go for another Dynamic Punch, because I wanted to finish him off, and I knew nothing was going to want to take that, and as I thought, that does I think just over half after leftovers. It might not be a 2 KO, but I'm always confused, but I know that Shaman does outspeed me, especially because his leftovers went first, so I don't want to risk dying, because I thought my champ might be pretty helpful. So I do switch out, go to my Arcanine, who can take, you know, those grass attacks and threaten him out with a Flare Blitz, or in this one's case, Fire Blast. I've already shown you this team, but I really like this Arcanine. It really does a lot of work. So, right here, I predicted him to go into his Azumarill, so I do go for Hidden Power Grass, but instead he goes into his Registeel just to fodder it, and that's actually a good move, because, obviously, his Azumarill wouldn't have died, but, it would have done a good chunk. But then again, if I should have gone for Will-O-Wisp if I really had predicted that. I mean, I did, but I should have really gone for that. So I go into my Manectric thinking he might go for Thunder Wave, and he does. And so I do get that Lightning Rod boost, which is really cool. So now I have +1 special attack, and I thought he might try to save this Registeel for later, maybe to take a hit or something. So I do go for substitute, but I should have predicted him to stay in, because obviously he brought this guy in for fodder, and so he might. I mean, it was pretty obvious he was going to stay in, but I mean, it doesn't really hurt. But unfortunately, because he's had some leftover recovery, I do go for a Flamethrower, and that's not able to take him out even after +1, because it is non-stab. And based on that, I'm pretty sure this Registeel is probably more specially bulky than physically, especially because my Dynamic Punch did so much. So, but that's just, you know, not exactly concrete, but I think he probably is. So, but of course, because of that leftover recovery, after all those turns, he's able to survive a second one, get up a Seismic Toss. Doesn't matter too much, but, you know, whatever. I do take him out with a second Flamethrower. Now he brings out his Glade. I'm at +1, but I know I can't 1-hit KO Glade because he has pretty good special defense. And, you know, I thought that I might as well save this Manectric because he might be useful. But he decides to go for Bulk Up, which is kind of weird because I was seriously considering staying in. And then he shows Taunt, which just caught me completely off guard. So I guess he's running a Bulk Up, Taunt, Drain Punch, Shadow Sneak set with, which is really interesting. But I don't know really. I mean, that Taunt actually did pay off a couple of times this game, so maybe that is a good set. He does go for Drain Punch this time, and I bring in my physically defensive Arcanine. I take that pretty well. Well enough that I know I'm going to be able to take another one. And so I do just go for Morning Sun, I believe, maybe Will-O-Wisp. I think I went for Will-O-Wisp. Yeah, I went for Will-O-Wisp, knowing that I could take two if I did go for Will-O-Wisp that turn. and I do hit the Azumarill, and so I know because I have max HP, max special attack, not special attack, max defense, and the Azumarill's burned, although the fact that he probably is banded, I assume, I definitely can take that and just go for Morning Sun, get all my HP back, and Arcanine is doing his thing, being annoying as hell, and this Azumarill is pretty much crippled. Obviously, there's not much this Azumarill can do to me. So, I think, yeah, he just decides to fodder it out because he knows that it's obviously not going to be that much use to him later in the match. And he didn't want anything else taking a hit, which makes sense. So I do go for Hidden Power Grass here, and that does do probably a third, I'm thinking. So, that's definitely have to burn. That is going to be a 2 KO. And here, he actually decides to switch out, and the reason he did this is because he knows his Arcanine completely walls my set because he's seen the entire thing. He has seen Hidden Power Grass, he has seen Fire Blast, and he has seen Morning Sun Will-O-Wisp. So that's the one problem with this set. It gets completely walled by fire types, but for the most part, it walls fire types pretty well as well. And because I do have recovery in the form of Morning Sun, I usually can outstall him. Especially this kind of set that has, you know, close combat, which lowers defenses, and then, like, recoil moves. So, I mean, I could probably outstall that. But I do switch out because I figured he was going to go for Flare Blitz, but he decides to go for a close combat. And my Azumarill does not take that too well. And I decided to switch into my Crobat because I thought he'd have extreme speed, but seeing him switch, I guess he probably doesn't have it. And, but this is obviously a pretty favorable situation because I do have the Stab Brave Bird. I outspeed, of course. And he actually just decides to fodder him out, I guess. I forgot to mention that this guy said that he's new to UU, so maybe he just didn't know the speed tiers yet. I think most people know Crobat's really fast, but maybe he didn't. I don't know. So he goes back into Arcanine, and he does hit me with Intimidate, so I'm not going to be able to take him out with the Brave Bird. I figure that my Brobat still has some use, and I know that my Arcanine can take his hits pretty well. And right here, actually, especially after Intimidate, I actually wasn't expecting a Wild Charge, even though I actually haven't played Pokemon in a while, because I lost my computer, and I've actually been really busy with school, so I haven't played in like maybe 3 weeks. So I actually completely forgot about that, and but I still take it pretty well. I'm not worried about it, and I do just go for Morning Sun as he decides to switch, knowing he can't really hurt me. A close combat would do some, but it wouldn't do enough, and I could easily outstall him doing that. So go for Morning Sun, and then just go for Hidden Power to finish off his Azumarill. He decided to go for Waterfall, I guess, thinking I wouldn't attack. I don't know why, but I do just outspeed him and kill him. So now he goes into his Jadu? Yeah, Jadu. And he Thunder Waves me, I get fully paralyzed, which really sucks. And then he goes for U-turn. That obviously does jack, because that's obviously not an offensive Jadu. Physically offensive Jadu. My max HP, max defense, and it's resistant, so it's not going to do anything. I do actually get fully paralyzed again. I don't really know how much that mattered. I went for Fire Blast both turns. Fire Blast would have done a decent chunk to Jadu, I think, but it wouldn't have done that much to Glade. So he does go for Taunt, obviously, fearing the Will-O-Wisp. That was a good move, but I do switch because I know Crobat completely walls this set. 4 times is just fighting, resists Shadow Sneak, and I do have the super effective Brave Bird, which I think will 1 KO. And he does decide to leave him on his fodder. I guess he didn't. I would have, before this, gone to my Jadu and foddered out, because obviously Jadu was completely useless unless you have teammates with it, you know, set up screens and U-turn out. But it's completely useless on its own, so I would have switched out and foddered that. But he decides to fodder his Glade, and now he brings in his Arcanine. I just go for Super Fang because that's going to do more than a Brave Bird, I'd think. And I don't really want... I mean, Crobat's going to die anyway from switching, so it doesn't really matter. And he gets a critical hit, which obviously mattered, guys. That was just... I was raging so hard at that. Just kidding. So I go into my Azumarill, and I do survive with 3 HP on the switch-in, and I'm able to take him out with a banded, huge power-boosted, super effective Aqua Jet. So that's cool. And now I think he's down to his last guy here, and that's his Jadu. I do just go for Aqua Jet. Get as much damage as possible, and because Jadu's not physically defensive, that does a great chunk, and he's able to finish me off with Nightshade. So, But of course, he's down to Jadu, and like I said, this thing is useless on its own unless it gets some bad hacks or something. I don't know how it would do that. But I just go into my Minek trick, and that's going to be a good game because I outspeed, just take him out with the Thunderbolt. That's easily going to kill. That's stab, and I think I'm max special attack. I could be wrong. But, yeah, guys, I'm going to be hopefully posting with better quality in the coming days or weeks or whatever. And just so you guys know, I'm still alive, so don't subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.